Why hello there, and welcome back to Character the Making. And in this episode, I will finally be getting to Werewolf the Apocalypse, which is like Vampire the Masquerade, but with werewolves. A lot like Vampire the Masquerade. Honestly, a bit more like Vampire the Masquerade than I would have liked. I was kinda hoping for something a bit less angsty and brooding. Anyway, it is obviously a game where you play as werewolves, or Guru as they are known in universe, who, as is well established in popular media, are the natural enemy of the vampire. So without further ado, let's make us a Werewolf the Apocalypse character. Character creation is a 5-step process starting with concept, and this time let's make a character with like a chill hippie vibe, but like who can still hold their own in a fight if they have to. The players also have to define their pack. That's what they are. They are werewolves, so they are in a pack, which is an important thing in the game world of darkness. But we are just making one character here, so won't really get into that. The first thing we need to choose is our character's breed. Basically, all Guru have one parent who is a werewolf, and their breed is determined by what their other parent is. A werewolf with a human parent is a Homid, a character with 2 werewolf parents is a Métis, and a werewolf whose other parent is a wolf is a Lupus. And yes, the book explicitly states that werewolves mate with regular wolves. A character's breed sets how many Gnosis points they get and gives them some sort of penalty. Lupus have restrictions on the abilities they can take during character creation. Métis are all sterile and have some kind of severe flaw, like retaining a human face in wolf form, which is very creepy, and Homids only get 1 Gnosis point. And let's go with Lupus so that we can all have that unpleasant thought for the rest of the video. Next is Auspice, which is what phase of the moon the character was born under. Each of which has a fancy name, influences the character's personality, and sets how many rage points the character starts with. And let's go with Philodox, or Half Moon, because they are the ones that are referred to as bards. And finally, Tribe, which is analogous to a vampire's clan and is the big what kind of werewolf you are thing. The tribe provides willpower and background points, and there are 13 tribes because, of course there are. The options being Black Furies, Bone Gnashers, Children of Gaia, Fianna, Get of Fenris, Glasswalkers, Red Talons, Shadow Lords, Silent Striders, Silver Fangs, Stargazers, Uktena, and Wendigos. And let's go with the least edgy option, Children of Gaia, who are kinda like the werewolf hippies. Our breed, auspice, and tribe also affect our available gifts, which is something we will get to much later. But now on to step 2, attributes. We have 3 physical, 3 social, and 3 mental attributes, all of which start at 1 dot. We must then prioritize the categories. Let's go social, physical, and mental, and are then given 7, 5, and 3 dots respectively to add to each category. So let's put 3 in charisma, and 2 in manipulation and appearance, then 2 in strength and dexterity, and 1 in stamina, and 1 each in perception, intelligence, and wits. Then step 3, abilities. We have 3 categories of 10 abilities each. Talents, skills, and knowledge, which once again we must prioritize. And let's go talents, skills, and knowledge, getting 13, 9, and 5 dots respectively to add to each category. And as stated previously, our breed restricts what skills and knowledge we can take at this point, but other than that we can put up to 3 dots in any ability. So let's put 3 in Brawl, Dodge, and Primal Urge, and 2 in Alertness and Empathy. Then 3 in Animal Ken and Performance, 2 in Stealth, and 1 in Leadership. And finally, 2 in Enigmas and Rituals, and 1 in Investigation. Which brings us to step 4, advantages, which is a bit different. First, we get 500 renown points, which we must distribute between glory, honor, and wisdom, and let's just split that 200 to honor and wisdom and 100 to glory. We also start at rank 0, and that is another thing that I will explain more later. Next, we have backgrounds. Our tribe gives us 2 background points, but no restrictions on our choices. So let's put 1 point each in resources and fetish. No, not that kind, like the magic flute kind. And finally, gifts. As stated earlier, our breed, auspice, and tribe each have a selection of associated gifts, and we can choose one first level gift from each. So let's take Heightened Senses, which is self-explanatory, Truth of Gaia, which lets us detect lies, and Mother's Touch, which lets us heal creatures. And now the final step, 5, Last Touches. Our Rage is set by our Auspice, Gnosis, which is how in touch we are with the spirit world, by our breed, and Willpower by our tribe. All 3 of these are attributes that can be tested, but also resources that can be spent, lost, regained, etc. Then we get 15 freebie points that we can spend on various things at various costs. Also, the ability restrictions from our breed are now lifted. So let's spend 5 points for an extra dot of intelligence, 4 points for 2 dots of medicine, and 2 points each for a dot in alertness, primal urge, and empathy. And if desired, we can add a specialty for each attribute or ability in which we have 3 or more dots, then like a name and stuff, and this character is done. Now, I would like to discuss some of the unique aspects of this game, not all of them, there are a lot, but like the stuff that I assume you want to know about the Werewolf game. So, here's how turning into a wolf works. There are 5 forms that can be taken on the scale of man to wolf, and changing requires a stamina plus primal urge roll, with the difficulty set by the specific form being shifted into. So let's say we wanted to shift from Hamid to Glabro. We have 2 dots in stamina and 4 in primal urge, so we roll 6 dice against a difficulty of 7, and since at least 1 die came up equal to or higher than the difficulty, we successfully shift, gaining a +2 adjustment to strength and stamina and a -1 adjustment to appearance and manipulation. And then of course every other form is the same process, albeit with different modifiers, and you don't need to roll for each step along the way, just the one you want to end up in. Characters can also sometimes fly into a ravenous frenzy when placed in stressful situations, causing them to change into one of the wolfier forms and then either go berserk or run away. So for example, let's say we are in combat and we take a wound for the first time, we would have to make a rage roll, rolling dice equal to our rage against a difficulty set by the current phase of the moon. And if we had gotten 3 or more successes, 4 in 2nd edition, we would fly into a frenzy until we no longer sensed any danger. And also, if 1 or 2 successes were gained, that indicates the number of rage points the character adds to their dice pool. Whatever that is supposed to mean. And of course, the whole renown thing. Basically, in addition to experience points, your deeds can earn you the various types of renown. And when your total renown reaches certain values, your rank increases, which reflects your standing in Guru society and also determines the highest level of gifts that you can learn. And just on a small personal tangent, the numbers for the renown points are unnecessarily big, like the lowest quantity listed is in hundreds. So all of those values could be divided by 100 and make everything much simpler for keeping track of. And that's about it for Werewolf: The Apocalypse. There is of course a lot more. I didn't even touch on the spirit world or the worm or totems, but I never claimed these videos were comprehensive, and this is a game with a lot of moving parts. Like, it does the whole werewolf thing well, and some of those parts, like the forms and rage and frenzy and moon phases, contribute to that well. But then also there's a lot of complexity of werewolf society and focus on the inner turmoil of the Guru, and that just kind of makes it feel like another more complex Vampire the Masquerade, which I guess is probably what they were going for, so good job, White Wolf in 1992. And I'm sure once you get into it, it's fine. You don't have to juggle all of the rules all the time, but just looking at everything at once is a little overwhelming. Probably doesn't help that the book is organized kinda poorly. Like, the first time I read through it, I thought I had missed the rules for changing forms because it is a very important part of the Werewolf game, and the various forms are repeatedly referenced throughout the book, so I expected them to be somewhat prominently displayed and not buried in the middle of a section of rules for miscellaneous physical actions 3/4 of the way through the book. Also, it is really hard not to notice the degree to which they rely on Native American concepts to flesh out their werewolf culture, which just feels kinda lazy. And in closing, my overall thoughts on Werewolf the Apocalypse: it is a World of Darkness game. There are good things and bad things that come with being a World of Darkness game, and it has all of them. It has all the good things and all the bad things. Also, there's still like 5 classic World of Darkness games that I haven't covered. I don't know if I'm going to cover all of them, and I don't really have any preference for or against any of them, so if you do, you can let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll cover whatever it is people want to see. And as always, thank you for watching, with extra special thanks to my Fightin' Flail Snails, Samuel Gorski, Randy Mulholland, and SC Woolridge. If you'd like to be cool like them, check out my Patreon, where you can get early access to videos and fun stuff that I make for the Patreon. And if you don't want to do that, that's cool too. You can still hit all the lovely buttons, like, subscribe, these other videos, which I'm sure are lovely videos that you will enjoy at least as much as you enjoyed this one. And until next time, keep on rolling.